Let's go for the last cast of the day. This is my 3v3 League Season 5, best of 3 playoff final in the 3rd division. There's always going to be the option in my 3v3 League to play the playoff final as a best of 3 rather than a best of 5 because of time constraints. Sometimes maybe the teams prefer that, could be huge time zone issues, could be life commitments. So in this case, LWS and EGT Sør-Nunos mutually decided on playing a best of 3. So that's what we're seeing here, the draft of maps and sims for a best of 3 playoff final in the 3rd division. So we can see the first pick here for Mandatum, that would be the captain of LWS. He's picked Arabia. Good old comfortable OG map, most played of all. And we have Sør-Nunos, EGT Sør-Nunos with Arena as their home map. And then there's a plain band down system to decide the final map, which leaves us with the neutral starting map as Nomad. So we have some obvious Nomad picks here. Lithuanians, Dravidians comes to mind. Koreans probably the last one, but that's going to be handy for Arena as well. So could make an argument for Malay, could make an argument for Portuguese. But then again, you might need some of those for the open land maps as well. Malay as an all-rounder here is good for all these 3 maps. Whereas for Sør-Nunos, Italians has to be for Nomad, Malians. It's their last pick, but it's still a go-to sim for Nomad. And Persians also has to be that one. I'm surprised they would give away all these 3 sims for Nomad. For the neutral map, but it might not be a point of focus for LWS. Let's hop into the Nomad game. Here we go. LWS with Portuguese, Berbers, and Koreans. So not quite what I expected. Berbers, faster moving villagers, faster moving ships. Makes it easier to fight for naval domination, and it also allows you to get to a good town center spot or scout the map with villagers more efficiently. This would be a great starting spot. Yeah, he's found it. It's gonna be here. It's gonna be here. Should be here. Should be here. No. No. Top side, maybe? That is. Yeah, that's fine. Fair. Still protecting the gold, obviously. So, Wyvern with the Berbers here going for a town center on the golden wood here. I would still have wanted to see it there. Then you'd be protecting the stone as well. But, you know, it is what it is. You want to get it out as soon as possible. Now let's look for Noam. Set up for a decent potential free boom here. Might be getting yellow meddling in the top side here. But, oh, that's a horrible woodline for Timon. Oh, this has to start. That's only like 1500 woods worth of a woodline. And it's also close to the shoreline. That's a horrible starting TC. You risk even get walled out here with that section here and that section here, but you still have gold and stone, so that's something at least. So that's Team 1's starting spot with the Persians. Having the town center up should now be able to crew the fishing ship. Will be the first player with the fishing ship well ahead of everyone else who needs to collect wood to produce their first one. Italians getting close as well. Italians have cheaper fishing ships. So then that should be following shortly. I think he's already indicating how he wants to wall it, maybe? I don't know what that flaring was about. No Vietnamese to be seen here, so nothing revealing the town center spots. Anyway, that's no Koreans. Several reasons for them on Nomad, of course. Instant tower upgrades into guard towers and keeps. Extra line of sight for villagers, maybe the hugest, best bonus for Nomad starts. And Obviously, castle drops, war wagons, that kind of stuff. Finally, we have Mandatum with the Portuguese over here. Often going to aim for a fast castle age castle drop into organ guns and stuff like that. In fact, you could hit both town centers here with one castle drop as a Portuguese if you get really lucky. But Mandatum's target might be Crasini over here, who should be a familiar name for a lot of players. He's a famous or infamous map scripter, depending on how you look at it. So he's settling close to Mandatum's side here. He's with the Mongols. A decent, maybe not top tier on offensive, but it's up there. Once again, because of the faster collection of hut, speeding up the early game. And Timon with Persians, as mentioned, already got 4 fishing ships out, which is nice. Finally, we have Eltron Trazi in the orange playing as the Italians. Why Italians for Nomad? Because they have cheaper fishing ships, makes for a great fish boom. They have lots of bonuses, making it easier to claim water with your cheaper technology upgrades for naval fighting. Cheaper uptime, maybe more significant for naval fighting, getting earlier to the feudal age because your feudal age, castle age, and imperial age cost 15% less to research. Right, while they're getting settled, I'm going to speed it up a little bit here. Looks like Wyvern has had a bit of a rough start with the Berbers. He's also settled quite in the middle. I like Teal and Green's position here, though. They are in a decent position spot to collect quite a bit of resources around here. As Wyvern picks off one villager of Crasini by the looks of it. So Crasini has been using a villager to scout the top side here or something. There's one eco kill against Crasini. We'll slow it down a bit after seeing the feudal age kick in. We'll see Elton Trasi going for the galleys production here. Double docks with the Italians. Knows that green is right around the edge here, in between his own teammate. So double docks for the Portuguese player as well, but Mandatum is lagging behind. He's got 40 seconds still to go to get to the next stage, which will give Eltron Trasi at least 3 or 4 galleys before Mandatum can make any. So popping them right out, and it's going to go right for the fish, force Eltron Trasi to relocate, which is going to be easier said than done. The way it looks now, galleys producing not as fast as you'd like them to, I guess. Only one dock producing, but fish going down because of the 8 bonus damage against ships that the galleys have. So great early aggression here from Eltron Trazi. Playing the Italians as you should. Top side we have Dimon walling off a bit. He's going for a stable. He's opening scouts, which is not that common for Nomad 3v3 games, I would say. It does give you some map control, definitely gives you map vision, but it also significantly delays your progression towards the next stage. So, I'm not sure if in most cases I would recommend going scouts. Ooh, and Mandatum is going for towers over here. I'm not a big fan of that, as Crasini has all the resources he needs to click to the castle age here with the Mongols already. A couple of towers really shouldn't be setting back that too much. A bit the castle age for the Mongols. The Portuguese will be lagging significantly behind, so even if Crasini loses some villagers to the towers aggression here, which he hasn't so far, he'll be able to relocate and place these town centers elsewhere to relocate the economy and still come out ahead of the Portuguese player, who would potentially be better off just going for the fast castle himself and a castle drop. It's not looking that bad though. 4 fishing ships bringing in food means that Mandatum needs about 500 more food to click to the castle age. Missing the second, no, not missing the second building. Might still be able to castle. So he wants to drop more towers as well. Backside of this wood line might not be a bad idea. And again, beautiful spot for a castle on the hill here if you're able to pull it off. Back to the naval fighting. We have some galleys out from no one as well. But Eltrondrasi with the early feudal age has the numbers advantage here. Has 8 galleys to... it's actually not got the numbers advantage, but Noam has a really far way to go with all the galleys and has to be really patient here, not to engage too early against Eltrondrasi's seemingly higher numbers here. If he's able to collect all of the galleys, he should be fine. But right now he's fighting in unfavorable numbers. They both have fletching, so there's no significant advantage there either. Castle Age on the way for the Koreans. Not on stone yet, so we're probably going to see archers over war wagons here. Overcastle for Wyvern with the Berbers. Going to go for the Camel archers here as Mandatum scrambles up a defensive tower. That shouldn't be enough to keep the Mongols castle from going up here. Or is it? There's actually 2 towers firing here. There's a Camel archers as well. But it takes a while to build that tower. 74%. Cassini will pull away, but he's committed now. He's gonna get that castle up. He has enough villagers. He's microing away the weaker ones, and there we go. Completes the castle. And Portuguese just picked the castle age, might even, worst case, risk losing the town center to castle fire here before the castle age can kick in. Mandatum doing the wise thing is moving away. Could wall off this section and delay the aggression a little bit. But it's also about to be intercepted by scouts from the other side, something that probably don't expect from the Persians here. Could be some juicy kills for the Persian scouts here. Persian player also in the cast stage, so now making a mix of knights and camels here. Some cover fire from the leftover galleys from blue player over here with scouts still getting some decent trades here. Team 1 about to get at least 6 villagers kills here. Quick wall attempts from Mandatum, not quite leading to success, and he has set back real hard here entering the castle age. Look at the economy situation of all of LWS here. This could be a short nomad game, a really short nomad game if this keeps up. Because it seems like Sördunos have won the naval battles. Still fish for LWS, so not all is lost, but there are some galleys roaming around the seas here, about to intercept some fish over here, and villagers. Yeah, tough fight for LWS here. Bottom down to 24 eco units, lost all of the fish except one as well, which is, I don't know where it is, it's not working. Mangodai numbers increasing for Krasini here. The Camel Archers are out there, good counter obviously to the Mangodai, but lacking Balkan arrow here, one which does Krasini have it? Yes, of course he has it. It's in. So the Camel Archers lacking in range compared to the Mangodai. For the time being, LWS almost 40 villagers behind there, behind the military as well. Quite a chunk of this military is on the water, so Sördunos don't necessarily have that much of an army lead on land as it stands right now. Castle and stone mining for Nome as well, but no, barely any war wagons just yet. Sending forward a few, working together with the Camel Archers here, but we'll struggle to find damage if Eltrondrasi puts up another tower here somewhere. Does he have the stone for that actually? He has the stone for more towers. He has the town center defending over here, and being the Italians, once he gets the castle up and gets some Genoese crossbowmen out, the Camel Archers and war wagons will struggle a lot more as well, because they both have cavalry archer class armor. So when you have a unit like the Genoese crossbowman with bonus damage against cavalry style units, that'll be going down quickly. We're going to see the Italians castle going up here. LWS has the Portuguese player struggling, is moving away, but is also getting dangerously close to Team Bon's side now, which could become an issue shortly. In fact, the camels, it's going to go in that direction already, so it's probably going to be alright for now. Okay, some decent galley raids here, making the most out of the galleys over here. Gonna get quite a few eco kills on Brasini's fishing combo, in fact. So great trade from just a few galleys and no web over here. Might not be enough to turn the game around. War wagons numbers increasing, but the Magadai with larger numbers and a bit of a hill advantage here, but so got some pretty easy kills on the war wagons here. Now providing some cover fire. We have a team 1 here with the camels as well. Camels get close to the camel archers. They should be dealing with them handily, but again, camel archers, you need larger mass to be able to deal with the Magadai. Finally, an Italian's castle completes as well with the Genoese crossbowmen now are on the menu. We already have the resource set up for wood and gold for the galleys earlier on, so good news for Eldorado. You shouldn't have any huge issues producing Genoese crossbowmen here, and the range is 2,000 as well, which is a fantastic castle position here. Smart move to move it even closer with the army numbers they had to support that castle going up. LWS moving further to the left. They've still got some space to flee to, but they're being constantly idled by the armies of Grazini and Dimon around here. You see some more villagers. These Nuno's eco lead now nearly around 60 villagers ahead now. At the map situation with it. We will need Imperial Age here for Nuno's to deal with the Korean's castle over here to further claim the map in this area. Nolan could still expand to the right and have gold and stone access, but it's not the fastest moving unit, the war wagon either, so it's a rather slow moving combo compared to what Nuno's have on the field, and then another castle goes happen here to claim some more territory on this nomad map just outside the range for the town centers, and once again Mandatum needs to flee the scene and find somewhere else to settle, so pushing further and further to the west. Doesn't seem to know quite where to go and where should he go. I mean, he can't go too close to the shoreline either, because there are the galleys to stop that from happening. Timon, having been relatively untouched up north, aside from maybe some naval raids, is approaching the Imperial Age. But the Persians has 3 town centers. Moving for a while, and is still producing a few villagers. Going to enter the Imperial Age at a pretty healthy economy here, I bet. And go into the Cavaliers. that also have bonus damage against partner class units, so that should apply against war wagons as well when or if they get close. War wagons getting some raids in here on Eltron-Tras's home base, but the camels are also catching up here for Team 1, and even with the choke points the war wagons have taken, the camels are still dealing decent damage over here. War wagons numbers not really threatening enough at this stage in the game either. There are about 12 of them. Confident castle from Krasidi here now is got Bangalore protecting the castle drop, but only 4 villagers building it, so that is, I suppose, stoppable. LWS, however, only 22 military compared to the almost 60 of Sendinos. Bangalore just doing what damage they can, firing away at farms. Castles left and castles right, very efficient way of claiming the map in the Castle Age. Krasini is spreading out with 2 different groups of armies, getting maximum raids in here, taking out 60 villagers so far, 36 minutes into the game. Well, that's it. As one might expect, the GG is called. First game goes into St. Nuno's hand. A dominant display on Nomad. Seemed to have a good plan. They also had very good civilizations. Certainly not a Nomad priority, I think, for LWS. The civilizations they've drafted. But we're going to LWS's home map next, which is Arabia, if I'm not mistaken, where other things could happen if you have a well-planned order and execution for Arabia. Could be looking at a turnaround for that map. I've seen not any particular working economy here. It did get idled a lot early on, but it did get those angled out and a couple of castles in nice strategic spots. It was enough to claim the game. Power rushes rarely work in mobile team games because there's always going to be that one player getting the free boom or going for the early Castle Age land push. So that would be Persians, Mongols, and Italians, was it? Went against the Portuguese, Koreans, and Berbers, I believe it was. Nomad, unfortunately, going down for Mandatum's side. We'll move on to Arabia next, in which case I expect to see Franks, Mayans. Has to be Dravidians. Malay has to be for Arena then. Franks, Dravidians, Mayans. First 3 picks for the whole map here. Makes sense. And Ethiopians, Britons. Again, a strong combination for Eltron-Tras's team. They've been drafting really well here. And I would expect a Hunt's pocket for Arabia, but we'll see. Yep. That is it. Arabia coming up. For once I got all of the civilizations right. It's a bit easier to speculate for Arabia, of course. Eltron-Trasi with Ethiopians on the flank here. Faster shooting archers. Faster firing archers. 100 food, 100 gold granted once you reach the next stage. Things to consider. Also a new team bonus recently with some extra resistance against cavalry units for the Shotel warriors. Was it? Something like that. So Shotel warriors potentially more viable than before as well. In the pockets we have Team 1. Did put up a good showing with cavalry the previous game as the Persians. Now he's going for the Huns. in the pocket position, so never needs to worry about making houses. However, will not be able to rely on houses for brick walls either to keep the economy safe, so we'll have to rely on palisades, gates, and other structures for that purpose. Hounds 20% faster working stables makes it easier to pump out your scouts nice and early, and yeah, later on the knights, cavalier, and paladin as well. Effectively means that you research paladin and cavalier faster as well, right? 20% faster. Very handy. The Hunt's pocket. Finally, Grazini with the Britons up top here. Still a top tier Arabia team game flank save, I would say, because even though the Britons team bonus with the archery range is working now only 10% faster as opposed to the earlier 20, the Britons still have a lot of extra range for their archery range units and longbowmen. +1 range in the Castle Age, another +1 in Imperial Age, and Yeoman adding another +1 if you research the Castle Age unique technology. Now to LWS's side, we have Britons up against Noem's Dravidians here. Losing out on one of the team bonus for Dravidians, I was expecting to see them on Nomad because with the Dravidians you get +5 population space per dock you place, and that's a team bonus, so that benefits all of your team members for Nomad. But they still get 200 wood once they reach the next age as a civilization bonus, makes it easier to afford your blacksmith and 2 ranges, or whatever else you want to spend that wood on as you go. It means effectively means a few extra archers easily. So, and yeah, being the one of the Indian DLC civilizations, they have access to siege elephants as well, armored elephants and siege elephants, rather than battering rams and cap traps. So that's also something you could use to push a little bit more effectively in the cast age. Strong elephant archers for the Dravidians, however, no camels. Generally a very weak stable. So it's going to be the archers, straight archers from flank here, I'm sure. Actually, it's going to gold already. So it could also be some kind of infantry play here, but I think there's too few on wood to justify that. Only 2 on wood for Noam. So yeah, straight archers. In the pocket position, as expected, we have the Franks for Mandatum. Seems to be aiming for a 18 pop uptime here. Course drops a little bit, but we'll be able to click immediately with an absolute minimum of idle 1000 at a time. Well ahead of the Huns here, I have to say. Huns now getting a little bit of food will force drop, but that's a 90 pop. Also almost flawless build, so and given 20% faster production, maybe it's not that big of a deal against the Franks. Still, you'll want to match the Franks in the uptime because the Franks scouts get 20% extra hit points immediately once you reach the feudal age, which is an early advantage for the Franks until bloodlines can be researched for other cavalry civilizations. Finally here, Wyvern with the Mayans, also all the way up here at a 20 population. Mayans have cheaper archers, they have longer lasting resources, and generally a good economy, and cheaper walls as well makes it easier to wall off and turtle your home base. No one being proper annoying with the scout here, delaying the Britain's barracks of Krasini a little bit here, but it won't have an impact on the first few archers production because he's sort of got lots of time to spare until the feudal age kicks in, and he has 2 villagers building the barracks. So even with 2 scouts trying to delay the barracks here, it's not going to be a lot. Loses villager though. So I have to say, good pick-off from LWS there, focusing down one villager of Carasini. Did not lose many seconds worth of time. No, there's the feudal age, so he didn't lose any advantage with the delayed barracks at all. double range and blacksmith immediately for Noam here. 3, 4 on gold. Might be a little bit short on wood, but for the double range archers, but I'm sure it's going to task more to as the game goes on here. Generally speaking, you need 8 villagers on gold to comfortably afford double range archers production as well as fletching at a relatively early moment in the game. And they will always be at a disadvantage against the Britons with their 10% faster working ranges when they're both opening double ranges here. Great spot of Krasini here. That's the danger of trickling out archers like this as well. Krasini is going to get a free kill here, maybe 2 free kills on the first trickle of archers of Noam. But Mandatum is returning the favor, going to get another villager of Krasini here. As Krasini was busy chasing down army numbers. So that's 2 villagers lost for Krasini. Relatively big loss this early in the game, I'll say. But in return, it's going to get more archers potentially. Archers fighting on Wyvern's side against the Ethiopians here as well. Ethiopians slight numbers advantage. Eagle almost going down for Wyvern, but lives to see another few tiles on the map. Okay, walls almost complete for the Mayans here, so NBL style bottle walls here, very compact, but it does the trick. It should be keeping any, assuming they can complete, they should be keeping any enemy melee units out. Numbers nearly tied here. Eltrotrasi with the faster fighting archers still has the edge here, but obviously doesn't want to fight uphill. Both players have fletching, so no significant advantage here. This is going to come down to micro management abilities as Eltrotrasi is dancing around a bit, but yeah, they're trading very evenly here. In fact, Eltrotrasi has the home field advantage as well, but yes, yeah, he's keeping the numbers. Looks like there's a 2 versus 2 situation developing topside here. Krasini and Timon working together. Noam and Mandatum taking the hill here. HP wise, the Franks are below, even without the bloodlines for Timon, because yeah, they've been taking some hits. Doesn't seem to be any point of entry here, but the gold could be denied. But what if Krasini sends a villager over here and traps this army in? I guess he'll have to open his own base to do that, but it's still a dangerous spot to venture into, because here comes the archers and scouts of Krasini and Timon, and they're dead even in numbers, actually. Dead even, which should normally favor the Franks, but now we have the hill for Timon and Krasini, and they are not going to let that go easily, are they? They're chasing. Getting the better trades here. Looked like a pretty even fight, but Krasini is losing the numbers here now. Is he replenishing them? He's making some more, but Noam's Dravidian's production seems more on point here. All of the scouts going down. They both need to replenish. This is developing into an extended feudal age game here for basically all of the players, which should give the Franks potentially the edge here, because they have instant farm upgrades. Yeah, a few more farms for the Franks. Look at the food situation as well. More food to be taken for the Franks. Kind of liking LWS's position here. They clearly seem a lot more comfortable with Arabia than Nomad. Fighting in equal numbers here, villager numbers dead even. Thanks to a couple of villager pickoffs maybe from against Krasini early on, but yeah, small margins here. Classic Arabia game against even teams, very similar numbers, not taking the fights you don't have a chance to win with good margins. Rossini just casually walks inside Nolan's base. Granted, it's been open on this side as well, but I'm not sure if Nolan was aware of that opening between the house and the blacksmith up top there. So the gold now off limits for Nolan. That should impact the archers production big time. There are some archers in the queue, but if you look at the gold situation, this is bad news for Nolan. He's going to lose villagers to the raids now. He's fighting it off actually, but he's struggling for army replenishment here. He's making a few archers, but yeah, struggling big time for gold. Only 5 on gold. Doesn't really have an easy gold to pull away to. Where is even the? Oh, that's a horrible third gold for Noam. It's on the hill, way outside of his base. Main gold now effectively blocked by Grassini, who doesn't even care about the skirmishes added defensively here. He's going to guard that gold and make sure no one can't comfortably produce archers. He's dropping the market mainly to sell food for gold for military production here, I think. Or he could sell food to go Castlage. But what's Castlage going to give the Dravidians here? I think it's going to be for units production, right? Yeah, tough times for Noam now. He's going to be stuck in the feudal age for a while longer, and if he goes to the cast age, he's not going to have any army to benefit from that upgrade. So who knows? Only one player going to the cast age. That's Team 1. About halfway there. Let's see if I click up here. Again, this is dangerous though. However, only 8 archers for Wyvern as well with the Mayans here. So even with the crossbow upgrade kicking in and Bodkin, Eltontrasi could get some decent trades. Don't think he's going to commit though. He's just going to collect his armies, pull them back to home base, try to keep them safe for the cast age to kick in and to get Bodkin arrow and crossbow upgrade for his own units as well. Military need for Sevgnunos though after a great fight and idling on Noam's home base. Very low economy here. Noam barely producing archers at all. He's at 4 archers only currently, so that castle age isn't going to give any significant power spike. How do they have a deer in their name? I have no idea. I mean, they spell their names parenthesis EGT parenthesis, so maybe that's what generates the deer. I don't know. Crossbow is in for Wyvern here with the Mayans. He is encircling Eltontrasi's armies. Eltontrasi needs to pull away, try to lose as no, a little as possible. He's stuck fighting up in 15 seconds for the castle age yet. He's got 3 ranges to produce from here with the Ethiopians, but can not afford to lose archers and crossbows here. Pulls them away efficiently. Unfortunately, ungarrisons 1 archer there on the wrong side. Not going to get much out of that one. Crossbow coming in, Bodkin coming in. Relatively easy to afford that if you are the Ethiopians with that extra food gold boost. Cavalry assistance from Team 1 here now, that would be Hans Cavalry with +2 defense, so getting some great trades against Lions once again, putting LWS on the back foot. It is easier for the Lions to replenish crossbow armies though, because they are at a 20% discount now, but now they're fighting against almost twice the size of military. Looks like Noam is still kind of struggling for resources, has been subject to raids again from Cassini. Moving out. Yeah, crossbow has about 1/3 larger for Cassini over here. Ballistics in as well. That's the case for both of them actually, but Cassini with the higher numbers still gets better trades with better military management here. Gets some damage in on the rope. Doesn't hit the knights at all actually. So the Franks knights live to see another day. Cassini goes up towards the hill and will have to take the fight actually. So it's in an unfavorable position right now. Can still hit and run, but we'll need to focus knights first and then deal with the rest later. On the blue side, however, we have Senunos pushing big time against the Mayans here. Only 2,000 centers moving for the Franks pocket in the green, whereas there's 3 for the Huns, so that should give an economic edge to the Hunnic player, while Cassini makes the best of it. Top side here, dancing around a bit with crossbows again, and his KD is slightly on the positive side, nothing too crazy. Great surround there by the Green Knights, but there are more Hunnic Knights here than there are Franks ones, and the Senunos keep their army lead while getting some good raids in on the Mayans economy here as well. One would land completely off limits for Wyvern over here, and look. They can't quite see the very exposed gold over to this side, but it's only a matter of time until they notice that, I think. Oh, why is Yellow putting away? Yellow needs to be over here. So now Eltrasi is going to lose all of the army here because Yellow moved away, but maybe he just wanted to conserve the cavalry numbers and focus on the top side instead. Still keeping a healthy economic and military lead here for Senunos, so it's going to take a huge fight for LWS to turn this around in their favor. The idle town center times are comparable, but there are more town centers for Senunos overall, and Senunos have been getting better raids in on their opponent's side. Ethiopians have a relatively ease of production for the crossbows as well, as they are benefiting from the Britain's 10% flask production. Gives them a better chance against the mines than they usually would, since the mines have cheaper. So the mines will produce more cost efficiently, but the Ethiopians will produce faster. So as long as your economy is untouched, you'll still be able to pump out roughly as many units if you have one more range, as is the case for Eltrasi here, I think. Yeah, it's 3 ranges to 4, so 4 ranges for the Ethiopians, as yeah, I saw it earlier. 4 ranges for the Britons as well. Really doubling up on the army production now, and almost 3 times the army size for Nudos now. So constantly having to migrate villagers here to secure resource access. Cassini pulling away, just I think he's looking for these guys that have been fleeing away. Those haven't the Imperial Age just yet. Might not need it here, so he knows now twice the villager size and then some. Great teamwork here. Another wave of crossbows on this side as well. 61, 36, almost 100. No, more than 100 crossbows for Senunos, and the cavalry count from the pocket, as you should expect from the faster production of the Huns as well, in on equal terms. It's about twice the army size. Only one stable, currently producing for Mandatum, and it's only got 2 on gold, so it's using the market heavily now to keep up production from what it's got. Unfortunately, it's still twice the size of cavalry armies for Eltroplasi. They're taking out the production capabilities of the Mayans now, and it's only a matter of time until they are able to move into the pocket and raid the Franks player to death as well. Cassini, however, is subject to a 2-1 attack here now, and that's a great aggression. Could be a way back into the game for LWS here with this kind of approach, depending on how Timon can react to this. He has 11 knights here that he could send over to deal with these raids on Cassini's stray PCs. So still replenishing villagers though, which is crucial when you're subject to huge raids like this. It's not quite the same case for LWS, who are about to lose their 1 TC Mayans player. And yeah, that's it. GG, well played. Congrats. LWS at a bit of a disadvantage here, it seems, against Cerinos, clearly a stronger team. So if they sign up again, I'll keep it in mind for the next season. That, yeah, you know, if you can overrun someone in the playoff finals like this, they deserve a spot in the higher leagues. But that's hard to know in advance of starting a league when there's... I know Eltron from before, maybe Timon as well, and obviously Krasini, but Krasini didn't participate in the earlier seasons, so it's hard for me to tell where to place them. I've just been trusting the 1v1 ratings mainly. So great performance by Severnos, taking the home map of LWS as well. Great performance there, constant harassment, even taking some beating at home, but do we not just need to keep the other flank busy and allow them to 2v1 the other side? That's the thing with 3v3. That's why I like the 3v3 game mode as much as well. It does allow for, well, it is especially rewards good team communication to pull your armies around, and you see the best 3v3 team players as well. They sometimes pull all 3 armies together to one side to maximize the damage output of their army for the coronation if the development of the game allows for that. So GG, well played. That is a 2-0 for Serenunos, which we will note in the bracket, including Division 3 as well. Actually, I don't remember the result of that one, but let's just make that a 2-0 for the sake of finalizing the bracket. There we go. Serenunos, champions for this one. GG, well played.